Hey guys, it's Liv here. We're here today with our GDL Week 2 game. We're taking on Ogobina, coach of the Miami Mets. Now, you guys may know him as OG Albina, Ooga Booga, or whatever you decide to call him, but this is Ogobina. We gotta get him to 300 subs, guys. I am currently on his channel right now. He is at 298 subscribers, guys. That is unacceptable. If by the end of 24 hours after this upload, he is at 300 subs, I will start a new series on the channel, and I will make it a daily upload series. We need him to 300 subs, though, by the end of the day, and he's 2 away. So let's get that for OG Albina. Now, Owen, of course, is a very, very good pal of mine. We've played Owen a lot on the channel, as of this generation especially, whether it's through draft or Wi-Fi, and our win-loss rate, I think, is quite literally even with each other. If not, it's within 1 or 2. He beat me in our first APA game, and then I beat him in the second. He beat me. I beat him in our last GDL run. I hacked him, to be fair, but I did. In Wi-Fi battles, I'm pretty sure we're about even right now. If not, I know that if it's not me if it's not even, he's up by 1, but it's somewhere around there. Point is, though, is that Owen is probably one of the people I'm the most even with in terms of skill, I would say, in the format. At least in a very blanket way. Now, obviously, there are leagues that he does a lot better than I do, and there are leagues that I do better than he does. But I think as a general blanket statement, he's probably one of the few people I could say is, like, really, really on par with me. So this is obviously going to be a really intense match, of course, in that regard. If you guys do enjoy this, leave a like down below. Comment, subscribe, of course, if you're new. And yeah, let's get into the team builder itself. So Owen, in this league, I think, had a much, much, much better draft than I did. Not only than I did, but I think Owen is probably a top 3 team in the league, personally. I still haven't gotten around to PRs. I've had a lot of IRL stuff going on as of recent, so I really haven't gotten to PRs yet, so I don't know, like, if Owen or Leo agreed. I personally think that Owen is one of the best teams in the league, though, especially as of the draft itself. Leo is the best team. I think it's a pretty objective best team. Then, like, second through rest, I think OddsAre is the second best. Definitely Josh, for sure. And then I think, like, third, fourth is probably, like, somewhere between, like, Matt's team. Owen's team is really good. So, like, his is definitely one of the better teams, I would say. I don't know if there's really a team I would say that's above theirs. I mean, if anything, maybe Max's team, but I still think that even Max or SV's team are both pretty good, but I still think there's a distinction between Owen's team and their teams. But Owen's team, regardless, is definitely top 3, top 4. It's one of the scariest teams to prep for, and the matchup is really horrible for us. I'll be honest, I went into this thinking that if I did not get 6-0'd, it was an accomplishment. So take that as you will. As I said, if I don't get 6-0'd, it's an accomplishment. Because for one, our Keldeo switch-in is nothing. We have no Keldeo switch-in. A Specs Keldeo 2, it kills our entire team. And that's just how it is. Combine kind of shits on us. Specs kind of shits on us. A Scarf Set also kind of shits on us because it outpaces the Rude, and it still kind of 2 kills almost everything on the team, if not everything. So that's the thing. On top of that, our Scissor switch-in is our also only remote Keldeo switch-in, and that's Blastoise, which again isn't a good switch-in to Keldeo either. So that's a thing. On top of that, also, Talonflame is really bad for us as well, which sucks because boots are a thing now, so I can't even just Rocks it and hope I kill it. So Talonflame is actually a huge issue for us, especially if it is at full health. If it's not at full health, it's manageable. And even then, to be fair, we do have counterplay, but I think a special Talonflame would be horrible for us between Hurricane and Overheat. That would be a nightmare for us to play around. Alchemy is kind of an issue, but that was more so scary when I thought I had Psychic to take advantage of terrain. I'm not as scared of it now, but I still am definitely afraid of it by a bit, because a Fire Fairy set with Combine Recover is still a bit annoying, but it is a lot more manageable than having Psychic on there as well, because Psychic would have mainly just taken advantage of terrain and given a lot more damage to stuff like Type Null, for example. Also, just in general, it just hits my team really well, especially, it just does. Point is, though, I was scared of those 4. I thought that Orbeetle would come to try and allow Calmine Keldeo to sweep my team a lot easier. Also made Scizor a ton more scary for us in general. Orbeetle definitely wasn't bad. It also helped a lot with our webs, because then Owen doesn't have to worry about them at all, because he would just in general beat our webs a lot easier than I beat his. I thought the Drapion had to come. Drapion is pretty mandatory for Zam, because otherwise Zam actually shits on him. If he doesn't bring Orbeetle, I'm expecting to Blade. I think that it's definitely for Monzo, Keldeo, Scizor, Drapion, Talonflame, Deblade, or Orbeetle, and then GMAX Hatterene. I don't think Dugtrio comes personally. I think it's really garbage against my team, but I will say that this is probably the best Dugtrio support on a draft, besides the Lele team that I've ever seen, besides like a Lele Zard X team. Otherwise, this is probably the best, I would have to say. I just don't think it's good here. If he doesn't bring... I think that if he doesn't bring one of these mons, Rotom Mo has to come. I don't think that Rhydon is a good matchup at all, personally, but he might bring it as like a Scyther check, I guess. Drampa is pretty garbage. I couldn't see it coming. My team shits on it anyway. Rotom Mo is okay. I think it's a really good way around Blastoise at least, which helps a lot with Scizor and Keldeo late game. So I could definitely see that coming. Regardless though, first up on the team, we have GigantamaX Hatterene with a level ball, of course, because you have to hold Pokeballs. Bold Nature this week with 172 Fizz Def and 244 HP. This is to help with, in our Gigantamax mode, we can take a +2 Bullet Punch from Scizor before, if we can't get up Expanding Force or a Max Psychic in general, just to get the terrain up. We can take a +2 Bullet Punch from, I believe it's from Adamant Life Orb Scizor. It might have just been from Adamant Scizor without Life Orb, but I'm pretty sure it's from Adamant Life Orb Scizor +2 Bullet Punch. Regardless though, 92 Spidef is just left over, helps us check Keldeo better if it's specs. We have Mystical Fire, Dazzling Gleam, Expanding Force, and Trick Room. Mystical Fire is great for Deblade and Scizor, hits them both perfectly. Gleam hits pretty much everything else neutral, and then Expanding Force is really to help with that Bullet Punch priority. Also stops things from like Shadow Sneak to Blade, stops Sucker Punch Dugtrio. I should have ran Relaxed Nature, truthfully, but then I realized that shoutouts to Clutch actually for mocking me, and he brought minus speed to Blade to try and catch off my Hatterene in Trick Room. But then I realized that I might as well, to try and catch Hatterene off out of Trick Room while taking advantage of Trick Room for the rest of my team, and it would outpace obviously a non-minus speed hat. I realized that the Clutch ran that minus speed to Blade, and I was like, okay, so if he's gonna do it, and I accidentally fucked up, and I had my hat killed Deblade outside of Trick Room, then I might as well go for it, because apparently I outspeed Deblade outside of Trick Room with hat. So I'm hoping that Owen makes the same mistake, or not mistake, I guess. I hope Owen preps the same way, because it's a pretty good idea to be fair, but I hope that he preps the same way regardless though, with the minus speed Deblade, because then I can kill it outside of Trick Room, which is great. I could definitely take advantage of that pretty easily. Next up on the team, we have Blastoise. Shout out to Dougal for the set. My good pal Dougal gave me the idea to run a Blastoise with Rest, Sleep Talk, Scald Haze. He said he ran it against Keldeo and that worked. He said it's also a really good Scizor check. And yeah, no, it's kind of like been the only reason I don't get 6-0'd by both. I do fully expect to get 6-0'd by both still, to be fair, but it's the only thing that's standing between. I want to run a Smash Blastoise this week because Owen switches to Blastoise are awful. However, I need to prioritize not dying to trying to sweep him before he sweeps me. So I chose not dying, as you can tell. Regardless of, Blastoise is still really good this matchup. It's a great Talonflame check, great Scizor check, great Keldeo check. It's in total just a great check to a lot of Owen's more offensive mons, which is great for us. Next up on the team, we have Alakazam. I will mention, because I did update the sprites for Alakazam, Alolan, and Steelix, on the layout at least. I've been doing a lot of messing around in between my week 2 and my week 3 game. Zam will still have the old color palette for week 2 in the battle, but on the layout and from week 3 on, Zam, Marowak, and Steelix are all updated. Zam is the only one of these that even came to this week, so I'm mentioning it here. I just figured I wanted to touch them up. They were kind of bad. Marowak was fine, it's just a matter of I touched up the flame because I learned how to do that. Steelix and Zam were both pretty bad though. I do also plan to touch up Hatterene a bit, just to try and get it to level out more with the curves than Hatterene, rather than just the actual texture layout. But I figured I would mention that because it's obviously going to look different in here than it does in game. Regardless though, Zam's up with the Life Orb. This is another idea that Dougal had. I have Focus Blast, Psyshock, Shadow Ball, and Sub. Originally I had Encore, because I figured I could maybe lock in Scizor or Keldeo to a setup move if they'd predict me switching out. However, I decided to go for Sub, because Sub, for one, helps me sell Gigantamax Hatterene, which makes it essentially not an issue as long as Trick Room isn't up. If it does come in after I set up Trick Room and Trick Room is still around though, that is a bit of a problem, but it helps a lot mitigating that. Also helps with stuff like priority from pretty much everything on the team, unless if he goes for like Dual Wing Beat, Talonflame, which could definitely come. I think that's a very viable set. I just think that special is a lot scarier for me. Between my Intimidate him on top with a Kobe Berry that I could definitely run. I could run Steelix, which with like a Rocky Helmet would be a lot better for Flare Blitz check, because it would kill Talonflame. Same as for Brave Bird. So I fully do expect a special set, if not maybe mix Dual Wing Beat and Overheat, just because it hits my team a lot better. But unless if it's Dual Wing Beat on Talonflame, Sub will help a ton versus pretty much everything else. only other threat, I guess, to sub would be like a Rock Blast Rhydon, but I don't know if Rhydon would even stay in because Focus Blast would probably kill from Life Orb. Regardless, though, this does 2-KO pretty much everything on the team, so the only real switch into this would be a Spinef Drapion. However, I don't think hard Spinef Drapion comes, because I think he'll want some speed to at least outpace some stuff. For example, like Blastoise, so then he could taunt it for before a Shell Smash. Also helps in general with just having a bit of offense to try and handle Marowak a bit better if it came. Having the speed in general is just really nice, in my opinion, to get up Toxic Spikes late game as well, or even just early game predicting around me before I get a chance to do anything. So that he can kill me before he gets off a Rapid Spin, which is obviously really nice. Or kill me before I get off a Rapid Spin, which is really nice for Owen, because Toxic Spikes really hurt my team if they're up. Especially with my removal being so bad this matchup in terms of being free to run removal. So I think that he will try and do that, and that's why I think a Bastard Drapion will come. However, it's still going to be more Spinef invested, which will make at least a roll for Focus Blast, if not a guaranteed 3-KO. Regardless, though, this does handle a lot of his team really well. Next up, we have Haxorus with Jolly Life Orb. We have Poison Jab, Dragon Claw, Earthquake, and Dragon Dance. This is basically my win call in this game. The speed is crept for +1 to outpace the entire team, non-Scarf. The 60 HP is for better Life Orb rolls. 20 for his Death is just because a lot of his priority is physical. I figured maybe I can get lucky with a hit. 4 Spin Off is left over. 252 attack just helps. I really need it to help break his steam a lot better, especially for stuff like Alcremie and Deblade, which are definitely going to be more physically defensive leaning, if anything, this game. The coverage hits his team pretty perfectly, to be honest. The only things that are really worrying, I guess, Scizor could definitely take a hit, but it's still 2-KO'd. Keldeo, I believe, could take a hit if it's at full at +1. Otherwise, I mean, Alcremie, if it's maxed, will be an issue, but once it's not maxed, Poison Jab should slaughter it. So, yeah, this is a really nice win con for me as long as webs aren't up. If webs are up, though, becomes a lot more of a liability, if anything. And I'll probably end up sacking it just because my removal does not exist this week. Regardless, though, it's still a really good breaker. Even if I don't set up a Dragon Dance, it kind of shits on Owen's team. Next up, we have Scarf Zarude. This is my out to calm my Keldeo. At least offensively it is, because Blastoise doesn't touch it with Scald, and Keldeo could probably sub on that, to be honest. We have Dark Slayer, Power Up, Rock Tomb, and U-Turn. I have 172 speed. I believe this was to creep Talonflame, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, this was not to creep. Actually, this was to creep. I want to say this was to creep. I forget, to be honest. I'll be completely honest. I forget what this was to creep. Oh, you know what? This is to creep Modest Keldeo. This is to creep Modest Scarf Keldeo, because Modest Scarf Keldeo does still do a fair bit to my team. Especially if he's thinking I'll down creep Zarude, because realistically Zarude would otherwise only really creep like Talonflame or Rotom-Mow, which Modest Scarf Keldeo could definitely outpace. So I figured I'd just creep Modest Keldeo. There's no way he's going to run a Scarf Keldeo that's faster than Modest. So yeah, we have Zarude with the Scarf. Rock Tomb is great for Talonflame if it's not at full HP, because I could take advantage if, let's say, I just clicked a Brave Bird or a Flare Blitz, if for some reason he is running a fully physical, extremely aggressive set, and I can go for Rock Tomb that should slaughter Talonflame. U-Turn is great for momentum. Power Up and Darkest Layer hit the team generally well. Though to be fair, not great, at least damage-wise, because stuff like Scizor still takes only about half. It's rolls for a 3-KO even. Stuff like Drapion is obviously going to chew, so it's not the best, but it is still kind of my only outdoor Scarf Keldeo, so we'll take that. Finally, we have Scyther here with a Violate, Jolly Nature. Clutch actually recommended this to me. I don't know why. I think it was just because flying knockoff, Dual MP plus knockoff hits his team really well, which, to be fair, outside of Rhydon, it does. I think Clutch mentioned that the main goal was to knock off a Violates on Rhydon if it does come, but more importantly, Deblade, so that then Haxorus can sweep, which is definitely fair. Truthfully, this is probably going to be my first sack. I don't see a lot of use for Scyther this game, unless if I maybe get lucky with positioning around Keldeo, and for some reason he chooses to sack. But it's still at least nice to clear Violates. Even one less a Violate around, or one less Shock Berry around is great for a Haxorus sweep. So yeah, that's it for the team. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the long team builder, as well as the introduction to the beginning. Hopefully you guys enjoy the battle as well, and peace out, guys. Hey guys, it is Liv here, and today we're taking on Ogilbina in our GDL Week 2 game. Hopefully you guys enjoy the match, and yeah, without further ado, let's just get right into it. So, my opponent brings, let's see, so he does bring the Keldeo on this sword, darn. I was really hoping that he didn't bring Keldeo. He does have a Secret Sword though. You can tell because of the sprite. So, Secret Sword, is Drapion, Scizor, Rhydon, Doublade, and Alcremie, GMAX. Okay, so, looking at this team, in terms of his potential lead, he's probably going to lead off, if I had to guess, with either the Rhydon or the Scizor. Both of them are really good lead matchup against me. In terms of what I can lead around that, I can truthfully probably just lead Blastoise. He doesn't actually really pressure Blastoise that well, to be completely honest. My Blastoise set actually kind of walls what, on paper at least, it kind of walls his team. So yeah, I'm really glad there's no Rotom Mow, because now the only way that he's burning me is with Scald Kelio. So that leaves a lot of room for Zarude to potentially be really good this game. We can finally have a good Zarude matchup, guys. So that'll be nice. What are we gonna see him lead off with? I don't know what he'll actually lead off with. He could lead off with probably like half his team in all honesty, and it would all be a vibe. Everything besides like Alcremie and Doublade, I think, could probably lead. Yeah, he leads off with Drapion. That's fine. Drapion lead makes sense. Of the potential leads that I foresaw being leads, this is probably the least beneficial, but it's still not a bad lead. Biggest issue with this is, I would say, is probably the fact that we're gonna get T-spiked most likely or knocked off. However, just going for Scald and getting a burn could be pretty nice. Drapion can't really break me either, and if he does Toxic me directly, I should be fine. Okay, yep. So he goes for the taunt, perfectly fine. He's trying to stop a Shell Smash setup. So that's good to hear at least. We're gonna definitely get a Scald burn on this, hopefully. Hopefully we're gonna get a Scald burn. Oh, you fucking kidding. Okay, so it's Black Sludge as well. Okay. So we're gonna go for another Scald here. Truthfully, I just want to Scald burn this. Highly doubt that he goes like Ross's or anything, so we're pretty fine no matter what he realistically switches in, if he switches at all. I definitely think that he probably has Toxic Spike in the set though. But I cannot risk switching in Hatterene on them either. So that kind of sucks. It is what it is. Especially this early in the game, I cannot risk Hatterene. So we'll kind of just still live with them, I guess. Which isn't the end of the world. Toxic Spikes really only bother my Hatterene, my Zarude, and my Haxorus, but I'd much rather Zarude get poisoned than burned. So I'll take that. Alcremie comes in hard here, and hopefully we can Scald burn this at least for some chip. We do not. Water must be really cold today. It's very unfortunate. In terms of my switch-ins, I could probably go hard into Zam on this. Let's see. So Modest Alcremie, he would need to get a really good roll with Starfall to kill. So I'm perfectly fine just going hard into Zam here, truthfully, and then just going for a Psyshock. I should do a fair bit with Psyshock anyway. And if Owen decides to set up here, I'm perfectly content with that. Any chip on this at all is a really good chip though. And yeah, his team he kind of brought a really, really good team around Zam too, to be honest. Okay, so he's going for Calm Mind on Alcremie, perfectly fine. Okay, I'm gonna go for a Substitute. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for a Substitute here. In the off chance that you guys go hard Drapion right now, I don't see it being likely, but he might, knowing that I'm gonna click Psyshock and then trying to get off a free knockoff on me. Okay, so you guys go for the Gigantamax here, perfectly fine. The sub, I can sub all I want to stall out this thing's entire turns. So I'll most likely do that, to be honest, because 3 turns of just breaking this, 3 turns of subbing over this thing's Gigantamax will be huge. And if he lets me, then I can maybe get enough to where I can actually like start doing stuff around him. I should have definitely went for 141 HP, but it looks like I'm still gonna get my subs anyway, so it's not a huge deal. Luckily, this isn't divisible by 4. So yep, he has Dazzling Gleam at least. Okay, so we're gonna just keep going for subs in all honesty. I can stall out this thing's entire GMAX turns. I don't mind letting this thing heal up, truth be told, because I will do twice as much. I'll do more damage keeping this thing out of Dynamax, and to where I can guarantee pick it off with Haxorus. So I really do not mind this. We're gonna be doing, even to a max Fizz Def spread, we're gonna be doing 45 to 55. So I'm perfectly content just clicking sub for one more turn. In fact, what I'll probably do is I'm gonna click sub until I've run out of substitutes. And then if he lets me keep the sub, then that's great. Because he might switch out into Drapion after. I don't know if he will, but I feel like I should take advantage of that anyway, because I might as well. Like, I have another sub anyway. This thing realistically isn't switching in anything at this point in the game. Just having stalled at this Gigantamax is huge for us. So good job, Zam, on doing that. I'm so glad I changed this for Seismic Toss last second, because that's obviously really helpful. So good thing that we got rid of this thing's Gigantamax, because Alcremie's basically fodder now for the rest of the game, since there's no chance in hell that I can take both a Psy Shock on top of also a Poison Jab from my Haxorus. So I'm just gonna click sub one more time. If Owen decides to sit up here, great. I would prefer that in all honesty, because even if he goes for an Acid Armor, I'm still getting off 2 Psy Shocks anyway, so it's a pretty free turn for me. He's gonna go for Gleam. Okay, perfectly fine. So it's Calm Mind Gleam, 100%. I'm gonna go for my Psy Shock now, because my Psy Shock should, as I said, do around half. And should he let me get the Psy Shock off, then that's great. If he goes hard into Drapion here, that kind of sucks. But it's not the end of the world. He might have truthfully been anticipating me click sub again and then staying in to then try and go hard Drapion next, which makes sense. But even just, again, forcing this thing out is still really good. So I don't really mind, even if he does go hard Drapion. We stalled at the Gigantamax, which is huge for us. It makes Haxorus' job late game a ton easier. So I'll take that. I think it's, even if he does switch out. Okay, so he decides to stay in anyway. Luckily, we know this thing can't be buried either. Okay, so this is not Fizz Death at all. He took way too much. Okay. So we'll take that. Alakazam definitely did his job. This wasn't its intended job, truth be told, but it still did a very important job. So I will take that. Okay. So in terms of what we bring in now, I think we just go hard into our Scyther. Yeah, we're gonna go hard Scyther here. Okay. So we did around 70-ish%. My guess is that he was probably modest Alchemy. So let's see. So it seems like he's definitely willing to sack this, which is fine by me. I'm gonna go for a dual wing beat here. And then when Rhydon does come in, I'm gonna knock it off. Dual wing beat should definitely pick this off though. So Alchemy being gone is also again really nice, because now we don't have to worry about we don't have to worry about any sort of like Calm Mind sweep beating us. So we'll definitely take that. My guess is Rhydon's definitely coming in here though, which is unfortunate, but it's not the end of the world. I should have probably brought Superpower, truth be told, but it is what it is. If Rhydon doesn't come in though, he kind of gets fucked by a dual wing beat again. So I'll take that. I think that's personally worth it. Okay, so he goes into haha, get it. Yeah, Rhydon. Okay. Yep. I already got it right when I saw that. Okay. Well, I'm going to click knock off here 100%. I don't see any world where I shouldn't be clicking knock off, if I'm being honest. Because even just getting this thing as a Violate helps a ton late game for our Zavrude and our Haxorus. So I'll definitely take that. Rock Blast, perfectly fine. I don't mind sacking Scyther to this. That was definitely a worthwhile trade in my opinion. Okay. So it has Rock Blast. Okay. So now, seeing as Rhydon has lost its Violate, how bulky would that have had to be for the crit to do around half? He might just be offensive Rhydon, in all honesty. Haxorus. Haxorus should probably kill. I could go hard Haxorus here. What does he have to switch in on that, I guess? He has nothing to switch on that. Okay, great. I'm going Haxorus. Haxorus can pretty freely just click a Dragon Dance here, and then I should be good. Even a Rock Blast, if it's 5 hits, he could not kill me no matter what, even with Rock Blast hitting 5 times. So I'm gonna go for a Dragon Dance here. At worst, I do, to be fair, probably get put into Bullet Punch range, but it's a sacrifice I think I'm willing to take, because now he has no switch into this. Truthfully though, it's only really a concern. Okay, so he goes for Roar. Very well played by Owen. To be fair though, everything that I have can come in here and do a lot of damage. Worst thing, oh, okay, I was gonna say, worst thing would be this, ironically enough. So, great. Still not the end of the world, though. He still can't really do a ton to us anyway. And we should underpace regardless. So, I'm gonna go for Trick Room here. He would need, like, Iron Head, and even that doesn't kill. 5 hits with Rock Blast was more, actually. So, yeah, he does around, like, half with everything, even before the max. So, Earthquake goes off, perfectly fine. We figure out how offensive this thing is, and it's defensive. Okay, even better. So we get the Trick Room off here, and then from here, let's see. So looking at this, I think I'm gonna go for a Max Smite. because even if Scizor goes for a Bullet Punch, it shouldn't kill me, even if it's banded. Max Smite should do a ton of damage to this because it has no Violate, to where even if it is, yeah, even on max HP spec, Red takes down like 83 min. So I'm just going to go for Smite. Stop Drapion from coming in free as well, which is great. Killing off this Rod on is huge as well because it seems like his way around Haxorus. So I'm perfectly fine with that. Hatterene now has a couple free kills in its pocket, basically, because of the fact that we outpace everything, which is the benefit to using Hatterene over Alcremie, to be honest. Oh, are you fucking getting this thing a Spit F? Okay, well, we confused at least. Can he hit himself? That would be great if he could hit himself in confusion. Please hit yourself. I want to take advantage of this. Oh, fuck, he got an Earthquake off. Okay, not a huge deal. I'm clicking Max Psychic here, though, because I want to get the terrain up so Scizor can't Bullet Punch me. Because then it has to actually, like, take a hit. And then I can get a second hit off just in general against his team. If he goes hard Drapion here, very, very well played, of course. But hopefully we can make Drapion have to come in. That's arguably what I would want the most. Because then that gives a lot less... That gives a lot less necessity on Blastoise to wall it out. We should still be doing, even versus a Spidef spread, we're going to be doing around half anyway to that, even if it's max Spidef, so I'll definitely take that. I don't know what he's really going to be able to do here, to be honest. He's probably weighing if he go hard Drapion or not. So he stays in. Okay, perfectly fine. Hatterene is going to get off the Mind Storm, so now we stop Scizor from getting to come in. Hatterene... GMAX 1 and 0. Okay, so Rhydon is gone, and not only that, but also the Alcremie is gone. So Keldeo is going to take a ton from Max Psychic, it'll kill. Scizor is going to take a ton from Max Flare, it should kill. Deblade is going to take a ton, it'll probably at least 2 a KO, and then Drapion is going to take at least a 2 a KO as well. So I'll definitely take that. Everything that comes in is going to take a ton of damage. My guess is he has to go Drapion here, which is perfectly fine. If Drapion is not... Yeah, okay, so he does go Drapion here. Okay. So, we could probably at least... if we confuse this thing and make it hit himself, then we're in a pretty good position. Because then if it hits himself, then we get another turn to attack, which is honestly really, really beneficial. So, we're going to do around half. That's great. That means it's probably not Spit F, or at least not entirely. Can it confuse itself? Alright, can it hit himself? Please hit yourself. Come on, Drapion. Hit yourself. Hit yourself. And it did not. Okay, great. Well, we still take that at least, which is good. I think we have one more turn to trick him up. Okay, so if we do have one more turn to trick him, I'm going to go for Mystical Fire, because that should cover any switches. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to go for Mystical Fire. Actually, let me double check real quick on damage rolls. So we did around half the Drapion, so I'm going to assume this is at least, at best, Adamant. Poison... Jab did around like 80, so this at least has some offense for sure. Mystical Fire should definitely kill this range. If it doesn't, well, then we've gotten some insane discrepancies in rolls to where that was probably their max roll and we're probably going to get a min roll and not kill, but this should kill. This should definitely kill. It's like just above the 25% mark, so I don't see any world where this doesn't just kill. This obviously stops Scizor and Deblade from both coming in hard here, which is huge. If either of them do come in hard on me, then I honestly probably just win the game. Especially if it's Scizor. If Scizor comes in hard here, that is so fucking good for us. But again, I don't see any world where it does. Okay, so he does withdraw. Probably going to Deblade. Mid. Okay, so that is probably the Deblade. Yep. Alright. Perfect. So good thing we Mystical Fired against this. That is huge for us. Does around half. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, special attack drops. That's incredible, obviously, because this is definitely a threat, especially. Okay, I'm into Mystical Fire here, because that does cover everything barring Keldeo, and if Keldeo comes in lowered with a special attack, that's huge for us. In terms of his team right now, Scizor is really the only threat. Okay, so he was like, he's probably like Iron Ball on that. Okay, well, I got another kill, so that's great. Alright, so Deblade is now gone. It's just Scizor, Drapion, and Keldeo left. And we still have Zarude, Haxorus, Blastoise, and Hat left. So I'll take that. At this point in the game, once Drapion goes down, Zarude should be able to do a fair bit. He also doesn't really break Blastoise that well anymore, outside of maybe Taunt Keldeo. He goes into Drapion here, perfectly fine. I'm 100% inclined to just sack this, truth be told. I'm going to click Gleam, because Scissor's not going to come in hard here. There's no chance in hell. And in case he is like a really, really spit F spread, this should definitely kill. I don't see any world where he doesn't just stay and kill me, though. But if he does, I'll take it. I'm trying to think of what he does. He probably just goes for a poison jab. I don't see where he doesn't try and kill me. Because if he goes for like a taunt, well, he couldn't go for a taunt. But if he goes for like a knockoff, then he's... I don't think he kills. He might kill. I don't think so. Okay, poison jab. Yep, to be expected. Perfectly fine. I'm totally fine with that trade. We cleared 2 really big threats in the... Well, Deblade was kind of a threat. We pretty much nailed out Drapion. We beat through Rhydon, so that helps us a ton, actually. Okay, so... I can probably just go into Haxorus and click Earthquake at this point, which I think is what I'm going to do. Clicking Earthquake, his only switch into that is Keldeo. Let me check real quick a Specs Keldeo with Secret Sword versus Haxorus. Okay, so he actually doesn't do shit even with Specs. Oh no, I'm Dynamax. He still doesn't do enough. Okay, great. I'm gonna click Earthquake here because I don't want the Scizor coming in for free. And at the very least, this will pressure Scizor a bit. I don't see him going hard into Scizor. I think he sacks because now that my hat's gone, that was probably what this was to check. But still, just in case, I want to be prepared. So I'm gonna click Earthquake. Earthquake should do a ton to pretty much everything. If we can clear through this and the Scizor, Zarude should be able to guarantee win the game. At least I'm pretty sure. Okay, so Drapion is now gone. Haxorus is adding more to its kill count for this season. So shout out to Haxorus, of course, for being the GOAT. We no longer have to worry about hazards, which is great because now his only way to really dent through Zarude is by Scald Burning it. If Keldeo comes in hard here, we get off around 64% with Dragon Claw, so I'm just going to click that. Blastoise checks Scizor really, really well. So again, I still have that. Okay, so yeah, against Haxorus as well, even like an Adamant Scizor with going for U-turn or a Bug Bite. Bug Bite would do the most, and that still does 67%. Even if it's Life Orb, it cannot kill us. So we do get off one more hit guaranteed. Red Riot, that's a Scizor for sure. Let's see. So I'm gonna click Earthquake here. I truthfully just don't want this thing to get a free turn. And even if that means I have to let it get to +2, I'm content with that. Because the chip on Scizor just in general will be so nice for later. So he's probably a bulky-ish Scizor that did around half. So he's probably at least max HP. Okay, so he's definitely clicking Bullet Punch here. If he's Adamant Scizor, that should kill. If he's not offensive, then we might be able to take it. But he would need to be like no offense. So he's probably gonna kill us here. Oh my god, he's no offense. Well, I'll take that. Oh, you know what? That was a Life Orb calc. That's why. Okay, yeah, no, that makes more sense. He was definitely not a Life Orb spread, which I'll take that. Yeah, so... Wow, he lived on like 1. Holy shit. Okay, well... yeah, okay, so for non-Life Orb Scizor, that +2 hit was a roll. It was a favorable roll, to be fair, for him to kill, but we'll still take that. Okay, so now we literally just have Keldeo left. So I'm going to Dragon Claw this. We're going to do around 64%. If it's Calm Mind, I can always pay it off with Zarude. He is for Scald here, perfectly fine. Keldeo, 1-0. Okay, so we're going to go into... Oh, I almost clicked on Zam. I don't know why. We're going to go into Zarude here. Keldeo versus Zarude. If he's choiced, he's locked into Scald, which is great. And Power Up should guarantee kill. If he's not choiced, then we should outpace and we'll kill, unless he's Rindo. So he's not Rindo Berry, it seems. So yeah, good game to Owen. Zarude finally did some stuff, so good job, Zarude. And then Blastoise 0-0. Okay, so if you guys enjoy this, leave a like down below. We're currently 2-0. I'll be honest, I'm completely shocked that we're 2-0. I don't think we should be. But this is more so just because I don't think my draft is that good. But I'll take that. I'll take that. Owen's team was very, very terrified to prep against. I am very, very shocked that we did not lose that game outright to Scizor, but I'll take it. If you guys enjoyed, leave a like down below. Check out Owen along with everyone else in the GDL. Links down below as well. I'll see you guys in the next one. It's been Liv. Peace out, guys.